This is Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, a podcast and radio program presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. Most any contemporary musical style can trace its roots back to the blues. Time Signatures explores the blues and its musical connections with captivating interviews, lively discussions, and news from the world of the blues.
You know I'm crying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
And now, here he is, your host, Jim Ervin.
And once again, we are live on location. We're recording live from Rio Town. And we are in the shadow once again of the Board of Water and Light's famed and now dormant Eckert Power Station stacks known as Winkin, Blinkin, and Nod. It's in the Rio Town Marketplace at 1027 South Washington Avenue in Lansing. And this was a former Essex and Hudson showroom. Isn't that cool?
It is cool. Yeah.
I think it's phenomenal.
Way back.
Yeah, Essex and Hudson. I mean, it's been a minute since they made cars.
For sure.
But I would like to introduce our guest for today. This is Heather Frarey.
Hello.
And she is the owner of the Record Lounge, which is located inside the Rio Town Marketplace. Now, the Record Lounge is Michigan's only female-owned record store,
yep,
and one of the few female-owned record stores in the country.
Yes. I mean, it's growing substantially.
Absolutely. You're always busy.
Yeah, always busy, but as far as women go with record shops, it's getting more and more. There's a great website called Women on Vinyl.
Okay.
And every week they find another woman who's either working in a pressing plant or songwriting or doing a record shop. So it's growing a lot. At least since I opened in 2008, there was nobody. Women, it was rare I had women come in the store.
Wow.
It was kind of a guy's thing.
Okay.
So, but after the years went by, it's grown quite a bit. Now I've got everybody under the sun.
And you're not just carrying vinyl here. At first I was thinking, it's a vinyl shop,
Right.
But it is primarily, but you have other items and you have equipment as well for sale.
Exactly. Yep. I've got a great guy I've been working with for over probably 12 years now, Mike Bullock. And
okay.
He retired technician, and that's all he does. He goes to sales. He goes everywhere.
And refurbs all this stuff.
Refurbs
That is so cool.
everything. Yeah. So once it's in here, he's went through it, and it's good to go.
That is fantastic. That's really cool. So as we mentioned, the Record Lounge is one of only 2 record stores in the greater Lansing area,
right,
which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
When you consider that there used to be several of them. I mean, I remember all the record stores.
There was a lot.
Early 90s.
Yeah. I worked at one of them, actually.
Which one?
It was Michigan Warehouse Records.
Yeah, okay.
I worked there I was in high school in 1979.
Okay.
Graduated in 82 and moved away. Came back in 87, and I worked there until 96.
So it's pretty cool because you are listed as one of the top 25 record stores in the state of Michigan.
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I do my homework. I
There
try
you
to
go.
anyway. So how did the Record Lounge begin? Tell me your story.
Well, in late 90s,
Mm-hmm.
I got a job working for a dentist. So I
Okay.
was a dental assistant for a while.
Okay.
99 came around. My husband and I got in a really bad motorcycle wreck. And we were messed up pretty bad. So I was out for quite a while. Came back to the assisting around 05. I couldn't get up and down a lot anymore. So I just couldn't do it. So
Okay.
I didn't know anything else but music.
Right.
And thought I would do it online, do an eBay shop. And I hated it because I like dealing with people. I want to see these people.
Very cool.
So I opened up a shop with another person, actually. I started it with another guy. And 3 months into it, he got married, came back and said, I can't do this anymore. I need a real job.
Wow.
So I said, well, I'd like to keep it going. And that's kind of how it all began for me. So that was January 2nd of 2008.
I think that's absolutely so cool that's how it started. It was just necessity. Once again, the mother of invention type of thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit at home and be on my, computer all day long. So that's kind of what happened.
So your website boasts that you have vinyl from, quote, every genre from the last 150 years of recorded sound.
Okay.
That's quite a claim to fame, isn't it?
It is, except it's not totally true.
Okay, well.
We don't really have classical. If we do, it's usually in the dollar bin.
Okay, so occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah. There's some classical. I tried selling classical for a long time, and it just kind of sat there. Nobody ever really looked at it, went through it, so I made room for other things.
Talk about the resurgence of vinyl. I mean, it's crazy I would say maybe the last 10 years especially.
Oh, totally. When I opened in 2008, there really wasn't much of anything going.
Right.
There was a lot of used. You could find used for a dime a dozen. New stuff you could only get here and there from different distributors. And then around 2010 is when everything kind of started popping off.
Okay.
Bigger labels started to doing it. They saw there was, money to be made from it.
So all of a sudden it's important to do it.
Yeah, they got into it. And it really blew up after COVID. We were closed for 4 months. When I came back, I didn't know what it was going to be like. So opened back up, and it just took off. Families were coming in buying vinyl. They said, yeah, we sit around, we listen to this, all of us all together. It's kind of a good bonding thing. They turned their kids on to new things, and the kids turned them on to their kind of stuff too. So
that is so cool. And I've been in here a few times, and most of the times when I've been in here, it's been hopping.
Oh yes,
crazy.
Usually Fridays are big. Saturdays are our biggest day. But with the holiday this weekend, it's probably going to be a little
more quiet.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know that there's an event going on, some kind of an art event or something like that in Rio Town this weekend.
Oh, well, that might be something cool.
That may draw a little business your way.
Yes.
Now, this is a blues-related podcast, so we have to talk a little bit about the blues.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does your blues selection look like?
It started out where there wasn't much.
Okay.
Nobody ever bought or brought it in for me to buy. They were kind of keeping all of their stuff. And then, like I said, after COVID, they're starting to repress everything. I think Joe Bonamassa has almost all his stuff on vinyl.
Yes.
They go back pretty far with a lot of the blues stuff. And, I mean, we've got a decent selection, I think. I've got, 2 rows of it in a bin, so there's quite a bit.
That's a pretty remarkable set. I mean, it'll draw some people in here.
I think I've got more than most.
So for people that are listening, absolutely, you need to come down here. And once again, my guest is Heather Frarey. She is the owner of the Record Lounge in Rio Town. The address, 1027 South Washington Avenue in Lansing's Rio Town, just a little bit south of downtown Lansing. So you definitely need to come down and check this out. I mean, it's a pretty phenomenal place when you look around. And I've noticed that I've actually heard people listening to music here.
Right.
They are allowed to check the music out before they buy it.
Absolutely. We've got a little listening center here, so yeah, that's no problem.
Which is kind of cool because we're sitting there right now, and I'm glad we didn't get kicked out.
We are. It's actually out of commission right now. My tech is bringing a new needle in for it. So it does get used quite a bit.
Now, according to your website, you offer new and used vinyl.
Right.
Where do you find the used? I mean, I imagine, now I did see somebody today bring in some vinyl for you to look at.
Yeah. Usually people bring it in,
Okay.
or they'll call me or email me. A lot of people have collections. They want to sell the entire thing, and I'll come out and I'll look at it and kind of tell you what I think. I like to be fair with prices, too. I think I'm I pay pretty decent for the records. So, yeah, that's kind of the ways I get it. I used to go to estate sales, and I hate it I really hate going to them. So
It seems like they're higher priced.
right now they are.
Yeah.
Mike told me that he's there all the time, and he said records now are like between $8 and $12, if not more. And
Yes.
that's almost like coming here and buying.
I was going to say, I've seen that on Marketplace. People are
Yeah.
on Marketplace, they're wanting $8, $10, $12 for a piece of vinyl. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, realistically, some of it, yeah, I could see some of it being worth that
For
kind
sure,
of money.
but not everything.
But not everything,
Yeah.
no. And, you know, you were talking about some of the newer stuff being pressed on vinyl, and John Primer was just down in Napoleon. He was Muddy Waters' guitarist and
Oh,
band
wow,
leader for
yeah.
10 years. He's got a brand new album out, and he had vinyl with him
Oh, you got to.
down there at Napoleon. So I thought that was
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
That's
So,
very cool.
Yeah, especially for, you know, for people in my age group. I'm 58. I
Yep.
mean, I grew up on vinyl.
Yeah, I did too. I'm
You know?
59.
There you
so,
go. See?
Yeah.
And, you know, and then we went to the cassette era, and then all of a sudden, wow, CDs.
Yep.
But nothing can compare to the original clicks and pops and hiss.
Yeah,
And,
it's just kind of a cool thing. You know, it's very comforting to me, you know, to listen to a whole album. I mean, from front to back. And you kind of have to, because a lot of I know the older albums, there were themes, you know, to them. So you really got to listen to the whole thing to get it.
absolutely. You, when we were originally going to record, I know that you had a headache issue or something like that going on, so we had to move it out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was on the heels of your record store day
that's-
event.
yep, that's
Talk
right.
about that, because I remember the turnout was nuts.
Oh, that was the biggest day we've had in 15 years.
Wow.
So it's massive. As much as I hate to admit it, Taylor Swift had a little bit to do with that.
Okay.
Anything she does, I mean, her fan base is just unbelievable. And they'll go do anything. They'll sit there for 2 days and 2 nights just to get whatever she puts out.
That's crazy.
So we had her stuff, but we had a line. God, it took me 2.5 hours just to get through it all.
Wow.
So it was pretty amazing.
And you know, for people that have never been in here, as I said, you do need to come down and check it out. This is not a tiny little space.
No.
I mean, you're in a big marketplace, an indoor marketplace. So
Right.
if you can imagine a great wide open building,
Yep.
and it's chunked off into retail spaces for various businesses.
Yep. Yep.
And it's really cool because you got a bookstore over here.
Oh, yeah.
You got the 517 shop over here
And then
with
we've
the clothing.
got the oddities shop, which is cool.
Yeah, you got the oddities over there. There's all kinds of stuff here. So when people come in, you know, you look at the record lounge, and it's not a tiny place, but it was
No.
packed on that day, wasn't it?
It was crazy. I mean, it was we opened at 10, closed at 6, and it was all day, just going all day.
Nonstop.
Yeah. But it was great. It was the most I had ever brought in for record store day before. Spent a lot of money, but I mean,
Yeah.
it paid off because most of it, you know, sold. So, and right now we've got leftovers, and we try to do half off on
Okay.
that stuff.
So there you go. If you're listening, half off, get in here and check them out.
There you go.
Absolutely. So what else does the record lounge offer? Do you have any other services?
Well, we do have people that come in and play from time to time.
Really?
I'd like
Okay.
to start doing that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Probably once fall rolls around, I'd like to have people come in more often, at least maybe twice a month. So we do have space for that, which we're in right now.
Again.
Yeah. You know, we got T-shirts. We've got everything.
Well, and as we learned when Dennis Preston interviewed with us a couple of weeks ago, you also carry some of his stuff, some
I
of his
do.
artwork, which
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Between him, another guy, Nevin Spearbrucker, and Paul Vettany, they all did their versions of record covers, like classics. They did Hendrix,
Yep.
Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. I mean, they did them where, I mean, it looks amazing. it looks like you're looking at the record.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So
and
we do sell those. They're little small versions.
Yeah. What
of
are they,
that.
like 5x5 or 6x6,
Yeah,
something like that?
they're 7 a piece, and
Yeah.
everything goes. I've already bought it outright, so everything went to them.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to
And I
do
know that
that.
you've got some of Dennis's posters over there from the
Oh, yeah.
concerts, which
Yeah.
are phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had a scanning party at my house.
Oh.
And he
that's-
brought over 100 concert posters.
He's amazing.
He's a wonderful person.
He is. He's very approachable. He's a funny guy too.
He is. Good
Really
sense of
funny.
humor.
Yeah.
Good sense of humor.
But just
Absolutely.
amazing artist. I mean, he's kind of a jewel that people don't know about in our city.
And admittedly, I have to tell you, I didn't know his history either until I discovered the posters.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
And
he's
it-
been around.
It came about as just a conversation because I thought he was just selling these. He created them just to, like mock up posters.
Oh, right,
He goes,
right.
oh, no. I actually created those. And
Yes.
I went, oh, we got to talk.
Yeah, he's an amazing artist. I think he taught at LCC, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. Yeah, he does a lot. He's done. I mean, I've got posters, some of them hanging up here that he did through the years in the '70s. Started at Sounds and Diversions downtown back in the day. So he's been around.
Well, I know he was bragging on your place. He was talking about the posters and such on the wall. And
Yeah.
And he said it reminded him a little bit of Sound Diversions and also of
Yeah.
Wazoo down in Ann Arbor.
Oh yeah, yep.
And
Wazoo.
He says, yeah, ask her about Wazoo. She'll know all about it.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that place is still kicking. So.
I'm going to be down there today.
Nice.
Going to pick up a microphone of all things.
Oh.
Another microphone.
Wow.
And I'm thinking while I'm down in Ann Arbor, I might have to stop into Wazoo and check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nice guy that runs that place.
Is he?
Yeah, very nice.
I've heard lots of good things about it. So you've had a lot of fun events in the past
Mm-hmm.
here, including the Dierks Bentley promotion and some really, really cool giveaways from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Anything exciting coming up for fans or supporters of the Record Lounge?
I'm trying to think.
I'm putting her on the spot.
Man, I just signed up for a couple, and I can't for the life of me think of what they were. But it's a listening party, and I can't remember who it is. I'm sorry,
Okay,
I
no,
wasn't
no, no.
prepared.
Yeah, that's what I get for popping it on you like that.
That's okay.
But there's
That's all right.
fun stuff coming. And where can they find out more?
On our Instagram or Facebook page. We
And-
keep it updated all the time.
Good. What is it?
Just on Facebook, it's just the Record Lounge, and on
Okay.
Instagram, it's Record Lounge.
Okay.
We got a website that you can go and buy new vinyl from, and it's the Record Lounge riotown.com.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
15 years.
15. It's a
15
long
years.
time.
What do you see coming down the road over the next 5, 10, 15 years?
Well-
Where are you going?
My husband's going to retire in a few years.
You gonna put him to work?
Yeah. So, probably in about 5, 6 years, I'm probably going to retire myself and move on to something else. And I've had a few people, ask about it and
That does not
want
surprise
to carry
me.
it on. But,
Yeah.
I've worked too hard to get it to where it is. So
Yes.
if I were to just sell it, it would not come with the name. I worked too hard for that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody wants it, they're just going to have to buy the contents outright.
Well, and as I look around here, the ambiance of this space is just so eclectic.
Right. And
It's
it's
so
got
cool.
a lot of me in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's been a lot of work for sure, a lot of ups, downs. There was a couple times I probably could have went out of business, moving from East Lansing to Riotown. And it's been a lot.
Well, it was probably nice to get the separation from Flat Black and Circular.
We were a block apart.
Oh, Lord.
So it wasn't really good for either
Yeah.
of us. So, yeah, it's nice to be in my own little area over here in Riotown.
Now, the posters that are on the wall, are they available for sale if somebody wanted them?
Some maybe,
Okay.
but most of them I've collected, through the years. So, yeah,
I got
it depends on
my-
what kind of mood I'm in that day.
I got my eye on BB over there. I'm a big blues fan.
Oh, that was, he came to the Wharton Center.
Yeah.
And my son and my husband went to that. So that's kind of their post.
I'll see then. Maybe I'll have to have you bring it over and let me scan it.
Maybe. Yeah, you can do that. I'll let you do that.
That's really cool. Once again, we are at the Record Lounge in Rio Town. The address here is 1027 South Washington Avenue. We are just located just south of downtown Lansing, actually just on the south side of 496.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, in the shadow of Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod, which is a storied set of stacks.
It's a cool place to be, actually. You know, Rio Town's up and coming. There's a lot of great shops down here.
It really is.
Couple great restaurants. Ellison just opened up down the street, so the brewery's down there.
Is that the one that has a pizza place?
Yes.
That
yes.
is relatives of Bill Malone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know, his son-in-law or I feel bad because I forgot. We just talked about it last night when I did his interview.
Oh, nice.
And he said, go in there, best pizza. He said, if you don't like it, I'll give you 50% of your money back.
Yeah. Well, I've not been down there yet, but I've heard good things. And Rio Town is a social district, so
Yes.
you can get a drink at any of these places and walk around with it.
Which is kind of nice because this is it's a small, intimate little neighborhood, if
Yeah.
you will. But lots to offer. I mean, we were down at the, the theater. What's the name of it?
Oh, Robin Theater.
The Robin Theater. We were down there. Fred Reif came in.
Okay.
And talked about his blues experience and some of the musicians he worked with.
Yeah.
And that's another nice little intimate place.
It's awesome. Dylan has done a great job with that place.
He really has. And Dylan is a very personable individual.
Oh, absolutely.
Very friendly, very knowledgeable. And I like the fact that, he left the original ceiling inside. It's period piece, so early 1900s.
He's into all of that, though. He loves the history and all of that. He actually had a really cool band back a couple years ago, the Lansing Unionized Vaudeville Spectacle.
Really?
Oh, my God.
You're going to make me go down and interview him now.
It was a fun event. I mean, it was an event every time they played. It was like they had, I don't know, at least 15 people in the band.
Wow.
Singers, dancers. It was kind of like a little cabaret.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
Well, that has to be that. It's too bad that more of that doesn't happen. But I know that he's talking about doing some smaller music events down there. Of course, he did hosted Fred for the Capital Area Blues Society.
He's having Josh White Jr. come play there pretty soon.
Okay.
Maybe a month, 2 months from now. So that'll be cool.
And the thing is about that place is it seats. Oh, is it 100?
It's not very
under
many,
100.
so it's very nice and cozy.
Yeah,
there.
really, really intimate. Really, I mean, and the lighting is decent. He's set up the lighting very well. The sound is incredible.
It's good, yeah.
So you really can't take anything away from what he's done down there.
Oh,
it's
no.
fantastic.
And he'll have, from All of the Above Hip Hop Academy will go in there. He has poetry readings. He does a lot of stuff in there.
That is so fantastic. So I've got to share a little bit of trivia because we are coming to the close here. Do you have any idea where the towers got their name?
I thought it was a contest.
It actually was a contest. In 1981, the Lansing State Journal, they had more than 100 submissions by readers, and the moniker most often associated with the 600-foot stacks, which can be seen for miles, by the way.
Yes.
I live out in Mason.
Okay.
Harper and Okemos Roads.
Oh, yeah.
Near that area. You can see the towers from
that
Harper
far
Road.
away. Wow.
Oh, yeah. My kids and I and their mom would have a contest on Sunday mornings on the way to church to see who could see it first, and I Spy, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod.
That's awesome.
So anyway, most do not know that the name was actually suggested by the wife of columnist Jim Huff.
Oh, yeah.
Her name was Darrell, I believe it was. There were other suggestions, including Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Faith, Hope, and Charity, Tom, Dick, and Harry, Huey, Louie, and Dewey, and Tic Tac Toe.
Wow. Well,
but
I don't
Winkin',
know.
Blinkin', and Nod won.
Yeah.
And so that's been for the 33 years that I've been in this area.
Since 1981.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a while. But I do remember the contest. I do remember.
You do
that.
remember.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yep.
incredible?
I was still in high school, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's very cool.
Heather Frarey, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
It was an honor and a privilege to be here and be able to get a little bit of a taste of the record lounge. Be able to be in here, and it's quiet right now.
It is.
But I know that's probably going to change.
I hope so. Yeah. I know it's 4th of July weekend, but I'm sure we'll have some folks coming through, and
Absolutely.
we'll see how it ends up.
So once again, your Facebook page is
Just the Record Lounge.
Okay,
And
and
then
Instagram?
Record Lounge is on Instagram.
All
And
right.
then the website is therecordloungeriotown.com.
very good. And you've got to come down here and check the place out. You really do. It's a wonderful experience to be here among. This reminds me of my daughter's favorite is walking into a bookstore because you get the old book smell.
Oh, yeah.
You get the old record album smell.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean,
Along with a
not
lot
in a
of-
weird way,
yeah.
but you know,
It's not musty or anything
no,
like
no,
that,
no.
But yeah, it's cool. Thank
definitely
you.
got its own flavor.
It does,
So,
for sure.
Once again, we appreciate you being here. Thank
Well,
you so
thank
much.
you. I
and
appreciate it.
we will be back.
This has been Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. For more information on cabs, visit capitalareablues.org. You can find this episode and past episodes at lccconnect.org. The Time Signatures theme song, Michigan Roads, is used by permission and was written by Root Doctor, featuring Freddie Cunningham.
You know I'm trying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
Until next time, keep on keeping the blues alive.